So cool. So I'm very disappointed, all right, to be honest. Volkswagen has failed me once again.
You got an F.
Because of the Mark 7 model turbo actuator deal, and they freaking suck, dude. They freaking suck, all right? What happens with them is like there's a bearing and an actuator arm that wear out over time. About 20,000 miles I got out of this turbo, and it is gone to shit again. Naturally, I upgraded the turbo to an IS-20. This is an IS-12 in this car right now, and I'm going with the IS-20. And the only reason I'm going with the IS-20 is because I was given the IS-20 by a dear friend of mine. So, we're gonna get to tearing this car apart. I do think it's kind of dog shit that Volkswagen isn't just paying for it for me, because it's their fault.
Holding it down on the engineering tip, y'all. Yeah.
Apparently, you can remove the turbo and reinstall it without dropping the downpipe, but we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn today, okay? Somebody said in the forums that they did it in 5.5 hours. I pray to God this only takes 5.5 hours. Let's get to tearing apart, all right? Shall we? Almost lost that one. Oh, I'm already shit up. First thing, I watched a YouTube video, and you just have to remove all your coil packs to get those out of the way, which is super cool. This is not a how-to video. If you're looking for a how-to, click off of this video. And yeah, I'm just basically showing you my journey on how to own a Volkswagen. So pop these off of here. Pop them off. I got it. I knew I could do it. I'm actually gonna unplug the battery. You never know with these Volkswagens, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna unplug that battery so nothing weird happens, all right? I'm unplugging some sensors, so I don't want it to catch on fire or something. I don't know. So, all right. So I got some things unplugged here, and I also unplugged the coil pack thing. I don't know if I was supposed to or not, but I freaking did it. So
bridges tied together can oftentimes not want to come off without kind of going down the line, and that's removed. I'm gonna take off.
all right, so I do need to drain the coolant, I found out, which is not cool because I already unplugged a bunch of things, and it's not really in the greatest position to put it on the hoist. So what I think I'm gonna do is try to hook the battery back up, and maybe it'll go into neutral without doing anything. Hopefully it doesn't catch on fire. Oh, I hate electricity, dude. Will it go into neutral without having to completely start the car? I don't know. I don't think I've ever done this before. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Perfect. I got all kinds of check engine lights now. Naturally. If you ever need to move your car, don't try pushing it from the front. Just take your hand and pull it from the wheel. It's physics. It's freaking physics, dude. Oh. Gape for days, dude. All right, new problem. So I jacked the car all the way up, but I left it on, and I left my Milwaukee impact up there, so I guess I'm gonna have to put it back down. Anyway, so again, not a DIY, but just a little info. You don't have to raise the car all the way up because you're not really draining anything from the bottom of the motor. What you have to do is there's a sensor right there and one of those little clips. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. Right there. Right there. Okay, right there. And you just have to remove that clip on there, and then you can just drain the coolant, and I guess that's good, according to the YouTube video I watched. She's a squirter. Yeah. I lied to you guys. I didn't lie to you guys. So I bought a aftermarket airbox, not an airbox, but a high flow intake, okay? So I'm just gonna remove the old one anyway, and I think it's gonna make it easier to get to the turbo and get that out of there anyway. So with one stone or two, so I'm like killing 2 stones with 1 bird right now, so perfect. Ooh, yeah. This is kind of crazy. Your airbox is kind of just like held in by like rubber grommets. So that's pretty cool. And I found a spider in there. Right there. So that's probably what most of my problems were coming from. So, yeah. But I have all this extra wiring in here for a cool light bar. But I think it's just, it's in here. Cool. Yeah. Where's the other one at? Ouch. Yay. Alright, now I can start taking coolant lines apart, dude. Never done that before, so that'll be fun, I guess. I got everything almost off for the coolant lines, but I went to move the exhaust bracket down here under the car, and conveniently living in Michigan, I snapped one of these bolts off inside, and it's pretty hard to get to, so we gotta figure out how to fix that. So, very cool. As of right now, we got all the coolant lines out of here, the piping for the turbo down below. I don't know what any of this stuff's called, but I got, there's some like coolant lines coming in from the bottom of the turbo, and I got all those removed. So I basically am a certified YouTube mechanic as of right now. I had to basically take a mirror and just kind of feel those screws out, and I don't think a whole lot of people could do that because, you know, I'm just that good. Okay, by the way, I didn't have to remove the downpipe, so that's cool. Is this loose? Is it loose? Yeah, man.
Yeah. This should be loose. See what it's hooked on down there. Is it hooked on something down there?
Alright, so the dominating factor of me actually getting this done on time in one weekend was FedEx coming through on their delivery. So they just dropped this off, and we're gonna open it up and see if we got the right parts. We got a koozie in here. Right here, this is our turbo install kit with all our gaskets. So that's cool. That's what we needed. Fancy. Very nice, race 6 ace. Here's big turbo going in, hot right now. Okay.
Readjust.
Not very good. You guys need a light. Did you guys want to get a pizza or something? Do you want me to hold the flashlight? You're almost done?
No, we're just getting started.
Oh,
Battling.
Battling.
why?
Never mind.
Goes apart easier than it does.
No, nothing about it was easy.
Well, taking it apart was easier
No,
than
it
putting
wasn't.
it back together. This is
all-
what happens when you have to become an adult.
I don't think many adults do this.
Because they just drop it off somewhere and have someone else do it. That's what I would do.
That's what I want to do. I don't have that kind of money.
Oh, please. Or you'd go to work.
I don't want to go to work
So you got it all in there?
so far.
You gotta put some bolts. Did you guys want to get me to get a pizza? Sure.
I think I have the turbo pretty much in there, ready to rock and roll. I got topped off with oil. I got the coolant line back in. So now it's time to install the new IE intake system, air intake system. Let's get at it. It's really cool looking, so I'm excited about that. And apparently it sounds cool, so that's what's most important. Sounds cool and looks cool. Alright, I think I have everything done. The coolant's pretty much burped and ready to go. The only thing, I don't know if you guys remember in the video where I busted this nut, I busted the nut off. I busted a nut. I still have to get that out of there. So I have some map gas and we're gonna try and get this bitch out of here, okay? I think that's gonna stay there for now, honestly. So one should do it. I'm gonna clean this bolt up, throw it back in, and see what happens. I'm gonna just order a kit or something and pray. Okay, so naturally, the car still has an EPC or whatever the f you want to call it light, but I was told that the car would have that light on just due to the fact that it's a new turbo and it wouldn't go away until it was tuned. Like when I turn it on, it does have that GTI rattle with the turbo. It is a used turbo, so obviously it's not going to fix that. I tried to lube it up a little bit and that didn't really work, so I'm hoping that I can get a few thousand miles out of this turbo. So I got the laptop all set up in here. So I went with the APR Ultralink here, and all it does is just plug right into your OBD11 or OBD2 or whatever the f you want to call it. And I'll do a video on that a little bit better on how the whole process goes. I'm just gonna run through this real quick and get back with you guys. And hopefully my EPC light is gone. 69%, dude, what? Stuck at 69. Incredible. And things are happening. Things are happening. 100. We just hit 100. So now what do we do? Your vehicle has completed. Now you can start and unplug. Now you can start your vehicle and unplug your Ultralink. Alright, so it turns out that the tune didn't fix the car. He still had an EPC light. So what I had to do is I had to go to Harbor Freight and I picked up this because I didn't have access to the VCDS tuning software. And I just bought a Icon T7. When you upgrade a turbo and if it's used, your actuator arm is like too small or too lengthy, I don't know, but it changes the voltage in the systems. And for the sake of this video, I just did all that and now I don't have an EPC light. Okay, dude. All right, so I think we got this thing all figured out. And now the car seems to be running very nice. Yeah, let's take her for a spin here and see what she's all about. No EPC light so far. By the way, I don't have a mic, so I'm just gonna have to talk kind of loud. And I think there's a wheel bearing going out in the back, so you guys might hear a little bit of that, unfortunately. But I'm working with what I have right now. Sorry, okay? It does have a little bit of chatter in the turbo, and I'm pretty sure that's the wastegate on its last leg. So I'm probably gonna have to replace this turbo sooner than later. So initially, I think there's a lot more turbo lag with this, the IS-20. Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it sounds so cool, dude. Oh, god damn. So I do think a front mount intercooler would benefit the turbo lag with this whole situation, but unfortunately I have the ACC adaptive cruise control option on this car, so I don't think I have room for a front mount intercooler, but I think it would definitely waken this thing up and you wouldn't have that so much turbo lag. And I mean, it's not terrible, like when you're driving around town and stuff like that, it's fine. But there is definitely a massive difference in the amount of turbo lag compared to the IS-12 and the IS-20. I didn't want to go with a downpipe just because the fact that I drive this car every day to work. It's probably about 50 miles, and I didn't want to do just a downpipe because I think they sound like a Honda Civic when it's just a downpipe, and that's disgusting. And I didn't want to do a full exhaust because I don't want that drone when it comes to going 85 miles down the expressway. Also, I don't think these cars really sound that great when they do have a full exhaust anyway, so I just left it how it is. I left it how it is, and I think it's gonna be fine. My biggest problem I think we could see is it might overheat. The turbo might get a little hot. It doesn't have that breathability when it comes to the high flow cap downpipe or whatever you want to call it. I think we're gonna be all right because I don't like beat on this thing. Okay, I don't really beat on it, but it is very fun. It's a lot of fun. This car is definitely woken up compared to what it was with the IS-12. So cool. 70 and a 35. 25. By the way, that head jerk back, that was a little exaggerated. I'm sorry. Oh god damn. Unfortunately, I didn't get any 0 to 60 recordings before I put the turbo on, but I am going to get one right now and see how quick it is. I got my little app here. Hit the start button and we are in sport mode. Are you ready for this? Hopefully it doesn't break. There it is, 7 seconds. A 7-second 0 to 60. And it's an automatic transmission. I'm not shifting or anything. Unfortunately, that would be sick if it was. Yeah, 7 seconds. That seems slow. I don't know. I feel like my F-150 would still beat it. But that's that, guys. I appreciate you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. Rock on.
Dude, I finished replacing the mirrors on the Ram, and I did the passenger side. I turned it around. I just finished the driver's side. I just finished snapping my little DeWalt box back together.
Yeah.
Big ass box truck comes by and smokes my passenger mirror.
No.
Swear on my life, dude. It didn't bust it or nothing. It just folded it shut. But literally, like 10 seconds after I finished the driver's side mirror, dude, I shit you not,
Some
30 seconds tops. Some big box truck with a mulcher on the back comes by and clanks mirrors with brand new passenger mirrors.